Yeah, I think we have to look back to look forward here with our team. And we had a moment where we went out to Seattle. We didn't, when we got done that game, we realized that uh, it wasn't us. And those things happen, but we have to have responses. And it was a really focused week of training. And I thought, credit to the group tonight. They came out as a single unit, and I thought put in a really good performance.
BJ, I guess just off the top, how do you process 7 goals like that? What's kind of going through your mind on the sideline?
I mean, I think for me, I just try to stay, pretty much focused in the moment of what's working, what do we need to improve. A lot of times, maybe it's just the way my, default, but as the goals are going in, I'm usually looking at the back line, trying to make sure that we're compact. So, again, I just thought we were able to get a lot of numbers. We were able to get runs behind the back line tonight, and guys were able to sort of execute. So, I think we're probably still processing it, but I think a good performance.
And then for Sam specifically, he's had a lot of chances this year and maybe not found the finish on a few of them, but tonight for him to get 4 goals like he did, 2 from open play, just what did you make of his performance?
Yeah, I mean, each week Sam puts in a really good shift. And we ask a lot out of our forwards with and without the ball. So maybe the goal scoring, is slow to come, but he's been doing everything for us, every match, and now tonight he was rewarded with that. But again, he's been putting himself in really good opportunities, and we know if you continue to get good opportunities and you continue to put yourself there, it'll break for you. And tonight he was a beneficiary of that.
Obviously, coaching against Greg for the first time, what was that experience like, kind of coming up against him? And then was that a matchup you kind of circled when he first got hired with Chicago?
I mean, every Eastern Conference game is a big a big match for us. So, and then we add on to we want to win every game at home for sure. So I thought tonight's performance was a strong performance, a strong response for us, and an opportunity again to play in front of our fans and compete against a good Eastern Conference team, and and we'll turn the page early next week. Listen, for me, Greg and I have an unbelievable relationship, and tonight wasn't about Greg versus BJ. It's always going to be versus Nashville versus Chicago, and we needed a response coming off of Seattle, and the group gave it to us.
Hey, BJ. I just want to ask specifically about the inclusion of Jacob Schaffelberg in the starting 11. Did you see something in Chicago that made you go with Jacob, or was there anything that you saw in training that led to that decision?
No, I think Jacob has a very clear profile of who he is, and he's very, very good at it. Which is he's a menace running behind the back line. He, his not only does his runs when he gets on the ball, but then it opens up the defense to now be able to play through the lines. And I thought that was another strength of ours tonight. That you saw Andy find in the center midfielders and Hany and Alex in the pockets turning. So just that threat to run behind, I thought opened the field up for us. And Jacob brings that. So great job of him tonight.
And then you mentioned that you were kind of looking at the back line, even though you were up 7-0 at one point. Is it easier to maybe critique players, or not even critique, just kind of look at things maybe you guys did wrong when you win?
I think we try to stay really consistent with how we evaluate performances, how we evaluate our match and the process that we go, winning or losing. We have very, very clear ideas on what we want to do, and when we do it well, we highlight it, but there's always going to be learning moments. And the locker room is excited about the match, but we also sting that we let up 2 goals. And we can take a look at those, and there's always going to be opportunity to learn from every match. And for us, it's about staying consistent and staying disciplined, regardless of the scoreline.
BJ, the fact that Jason's playing instead of Walker in that position and he's doing so well, and now you see him even like Walker scoring goals in the other area. I mean, the coach is happy with any goal score, let alone 7. But was it a different feeling when you saw him scoring tonight?
Yeah, I think Jason's a player who's come here. He's had to acclimate to us, to a brand new country, to a brand new team, to a brand new city, and that's never easy. And so, yeah, it's he's been putting in a ton of hard work, and the group has really, I would say, gotten behind him to help as well as we do with every new player that comes in. So of course, we're excited. We know that together we're better, and if we're getting goal contributions from defenders and goal contributions across the board, we're going to be a happy team.
Now, is it fair to say that Patrick Jasbeck and Eddie Taxett bring the most, perhaps the level you're looking for in the middle for the team, instead of when you have them mixed with other players?
I think when you see the partnership of Patrick and Eddie, it's two players that can cover almost the whole field. So yes, in that sense. So for us, it's just about how do we deploy different player profiles and partnerships with one another. And I think you saw tonight, and you've seen in the past, Patrick and Eddie are. They're relentless. They're relentless going box to box, winning balls, tackling, winning duels, passing the ball, passing forward. So, I thought they really, were sort of the catalyst to our energy tonight.
Kind of expanding on your comment about Jacob Schaffelberg from earlier, I'm just curious when it comes to Jacob's second effort in tonight's game, because his first two efforts, one led to a corner kick, one led to the penalty. Obviously getting to Sam's 4 goals there, but just to that point, is that something that's been missing in this but this team the last couple of games? Is that second effort just to get behind the ball?
Yeah, I mean we've challenged Jacob to compete on both sides of the ball. And I think whether that's from positional discipline when we're in our mid block, to pressing and taking the last step and pressing through and trying to block passes, and then defensive recoveries. So. It's funny because he has a lot of speed, and a lot of times it's being used in one direction, but that speed can also be used in another direction, which is getting back below the ball or pressing. And as he continues to develop it, as we're trying to develop all of our players, I think, the team will grow.
And to actually add on to that, Ahmed Qasim come in a little late for this game, subbed on. I'm also curious about his, aspect of getting under the defensive side of the ball. He's a young player. I assume, does that give Jacob a leg up when it comes to stuff like that? I
think they're both competing. I mean, even when Ahmed came in the game, you saw him close down a guy, put him right on the sideline. So, it's the demand that we put on every player, and every player. It's the standard that we hold here at Nashville, and we'll continue to work with every player to develop them individually to meet those, to meet and develop into those standards.
Okay, what is the reason your team is acting like bipolar? At home, they know how to play how they want, but when they go out, they look like they lost.
I would respectfully disagree with that. I think we've played a lot of good moments, a lot of good halves, home and away. I'll accept the Seattle game, which I think we've talked about plenty, and we've turned the page on that and took our learning lessons from the Seattle match. So for us, I think it's just about continuing to prepare each week for our opponent, home or away. Try to play our style of play, home or away, and with the attempt of whether we're home or away, we want to try to secure 3 points.
Sounds good. And my question was you have everything under control, 7-0. And then coming to goals, what do you think was the mistake for our team that can happen when you are in totally control of this game?
Yeah, I think you have Chicago coming really aggressive, and there was a couple breakdowns. But what I was really proud of was the response to the guys, that it didn't go any further than that. We got the game right back under control, used the ball really well, and calmed it back down. I also thought the way that we dropped our pressure to sort of the top of the circle to get the game under control was a really professional move by the players that were out there, without sort of any panic or anything. And it's a good moment for us. It's a good moment for us to understand that that's what we can do, and how we continue to win. These are learning lessons to win the game. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we, like last week, we had a very difficult game. We had a great week, training week, and sometimes these things happen. And I think we showed a great reaction. The first half was unbelievable. I think in all aspects we showed what we are capable of. That's the baseline. In the end of the day, it's just 3 points. I think in soccer or in sports in general, the highs are very high and the lows are very low. And I think, in these moments, we need to keep working hard, getting back tomorrow, every other day. And from there, we have a very difficult game in Atlanta. We know their situation, so yeah.
Thanks, Hany. We'll start with Ben, and we'll have Sam as well, so we'll do one question, please.
Yeah, Hany, it feels like you guys have been creating a lot of chances from open play this year, and at times the finish hasn't been there, but the chances have been. What do you think the difference was tonight, just actually being able to get the goals?
Yeah, I had a couple talks with the coach too. I feel like, as long as you come into these situations each game and create a lot of chances, it will click. And it's, for me personally, I'm always a little slow starter throughout my career. But today it clicked, and I think with the first 2-3 big chances we scored, and we look very dangerous. When we look back against Cincinnati, against all these teams, we had chances, and that is a good sign. I think we have clear values, clear attacking principles, which helps us to create a lot of chances.
Hany, your first goal was assisted by Andy, and then he went on to assist 2 more to Sam. Can you kind of talk about his impact going forward into the attack?
Yeah, he's a very special player. I think his ability with the ball is very unique for a right back. And, he's a very smart player. He sees the open player, and that is a very, very good skill for a right back because, they see the field, and, the 2 assists he gives to Sam, I think I come and they follow me, and then he sees the space in the back, that is pure quality, and he's a great addition to the team. But like I mentioned before, I think the front office did a wonderful job with the new additions, Jasberg, Broekman, Eddie, Andy. Even today we saw Jason. He's a really good player. And I think that helps the team. That brings us to the next level. And we are just 1/3 in to the season, and hopefully we can continue.
Hany, is there something about Chicago? You've scored a couple hat tricks against them. You have 2 tonight. Is there anything specific about this opponent for you?
I don't know. To be honest, I like playing against Chicago. I have good memories. It always feels good to be on the score sheet and help the team.
Hany, just by listening to you and see how you displayed tonight, besides the score, which is heavy, was this the game that perhaps that you feel the best for yourself inside the pitch tonight during the whole season?
I think, the relationship me and Schaffelberg have, I think it's very special because he has that capability to stretch the field, and he opens up space for me. And I think we saw that today, especially in the first half, how, 2-3 runs he does, and all of a sudden there are gaps in between the lines, and I can receive the ball, turn. And the last couple of games I have played more as a forward, and this game I have played more like as a playmaker or as a 10 pocket player. So I think we have to work on that relationship and continue, and hopefully we can do that.
Kind of piggybacking off your comment there about being that number 10 role, the pocket player. Do you think with all the attention of other players getting the attention to the ball, this might create more chances for you in the future of the season?
Yeah, definitely. I think a good team has a balance, right? We saw that against New York beginning of the season. They pressed us, and we still want to play 1-2 and try to break the lines. Sometimes there are different ways. If they offer us space in behind, we saw the goals with Sam or Schaffelberg, the penalty, just use the space. And it's not like just kick and rush, it's a cultured ball, and like it's basically a pass to the space for a player, and that opens up space, and then we can play from there. Thank you, guys.
Yes, when you put it like that, it's pretty special. But yeah, I think when you look at what we talked about in the week was the intensity, and I think we brought that in the first half. I think that's the main thing. I think it was obviously me getting a couple, Hany got a couple, JC Jason's header. I think we just kept going. I think that's the main thing. I think we've learnt from tonight. When we go 1 or 2, we can just keep pushing, and hopefully we can do that more in the future. But yeah, obviously the stats like that are important. It's important for the club's history, and yeah, I'm happy to be part of that.
Sam, we've talked a bit about just how you're getting chances, and maybe the finish hasn't been there. Tonight it was. How do you kind of assess tonight in kind of the bigger picture of the season, and just what was the feeling like seeing 4 goals at the back of the net?
Yeah, I think it's obviously it's important for myself to get the goals because at the end of the day I'm a 9. I want to be scoring. I felt like I have been a bit unlucky in past games, but yeah, I never put my head down. I want to keep working, and I knew games like this happen. So yeah, you never know what's around the corner. I think you just got to keep pushing, and yeah, and tonight it worked, and then hopefully next week it happens again. So you just never know. So yeah, I just want to keep working and do well for the team. So
Sam, congrats on the win. Any hesitation going down the middle on either of those penalties?
I knew I was going to go down the middle on the first one, and I think I was waiting for him to move on the second one, but then I seen him go a little bit and I lifted it. So yeah, I think it's a bit of cat and mouse with keepers because they are getting better at saving them. So I've been working hard on the training field, just keep practicing what I'm going to do. But yeah, I think you just got to keep the keeper guessing, and I think that's obviously important when you're taking them. So.
Sam, we saw it tonight, but there's been multiple people involved in goals for your team, way more than I think when you first got to Nashville SC. So how important is that for a striker to have wingers, midfielders, and defenders like today kind of get on the score sheet?
Yeah, it's important. I think since BJ's come in, he's been very clear that he doesn't want just one goal scorer. Obviously, I'd love it if I was the 30, 40 goals, but I think he wants the whole team, which is fine. At the same time, I know I'm a 9 and I want to get my goals. But yeah, like you said, it's important that you're not that person every week, because you can have others, and then defenders will start to look at others rather than just you. But yeah, when you've got lads chipping in like Jason tonight, obviously Hany's got his 2, but yeah, when you've got defenders scoring goals, you know that goals can come from anywhere in the team. Obviously Dan Lovett's got his, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, like we just obviously got lots of people who can keep scoring, which is important for us.
Sam, besides the fact that Eddie and Patrick was taking much of the load tonight on the second line, is it better for you when Hany plays more behind you than when it's when you guys play the field on the front?
What, as in defensively or attacking? Just
attacking, I mean.
Yeah, I think we actually didn't change that in terms of, I think maybe we changed a couple of bits in terms of how we receive the ball rather than, I think me and Hany together, I think we definitely were a lot more direct tonight, and I do think that suits us more. But yeah, I think it was one of them. I think we just almost played to our strengths, and I feel like me and Hany, we clicked well tonight, but I felt like it was almost the service into us, not just the service to the goal. I think the service round from the defence into us from the midfield was it was really good. And I think as long as we just keep working together and do opposite movements, I think it's definitely beneficial. But yeah, I think we just got to keep working on the training field and just keep doing what we're doing, because like nights like this will keep coming.
Sam, when you made the initial move from England to Nashville, and did you ever expect in your wildest dreams to be producing goals at this level? I mean, last year you had a hat trick, and then this year a hat trick leading to 4 goals. I mean, did that ever kind of cross your mind thinking this could be my destination spot where I could produce as much as possible?
Yeah, I think obviously like it's hard because I want to be getting X amount of goals a season, but last season, and it was difficult for not just myself but the team. But yeah, I think it was a step in the right direction for myself. yeah, I want to be getting big numbers, and I think that's what I want to do in my career. So definitely when I come over, I knew what I had to do, and I think I just want to keep trying to do that, but also not putting the pressure on yourself to do it. So yeah, I'm going to keep working hard, and I'm sure the manager will keep pushing me as well. So
Is it easy to say it's probably the most fun you've had playing soccer in your career?
Yeah, it is. I think definitely the past few years I've always enjoyed playing. You definitely have bad spell. Even last season was a bad spell, but yeah, it's always up and down. But yeah, definitely I'm enjoying my time here at the moment. I just want to keep going. So.
In your background before, did you make 4 goals in other games, or is the first one?
Yeah, this is the first time. I got my hat-trick last year. I got a hat-trick when I was back in England, but yeah, first time I got my 4. So yeah, special for myself. But yeah, I wanted to stay on to try and get the 5, but I think I think the manager has probably saved my legs. But yeah, that's fun. Cheers, guys.
Global domination.